Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Please hit the subscribe button and give this episode a thumbs up. Spoilers for all episodes of Love Island season ahead. Despite a rocky start, season 6 of Love Island had viewers rooting for fairy tale relationship. Took while for fan favorite couple Jan Craig and Kenneth Kenny Rodriguez to find each other on the reality series. Kenny didn't enter the villa until the end of week 2, and JaNa was almost eliminated a few days before he arrived. However, once the pair met on the dating show, they quickly clicked, and their relationship survived the test of Casa Amor to become one of the season's most adorable pairings. The finalist couple had been compared to like one out of a Disney romance, specifically Princess Tiana and Prince Hakeem from The Princess and the Frog, so fans were clamoring for any news of the couple following August Love Island season 6 reunion in summer now. With the spin-off Love Island, Beyond the Villa having recently premiered on July 2025, the couple is back in the spotlight. Read on for everything we know about JaNa and Kenny's relationship and whether the couple is still together today. JaNa Craig, a 27-year-old day trader from Hawaii, was one of the Day 1 Islanders in the season 6 cast. She had an eventful dating life in the villa, briefly coupling up with Coy Simmons, Connor Newsom, and Hakeem White. On the first public vote on day, JaNa and Hakeem were among the least voted couples and faced elimination from the villa. Hakeem was dumped while JaNa was saved by the other women, meaning that she remained in the villa single islander. Bronx-born 24-year-old Kenny Rodriguez entered the villa as a day 13 bombshell, and he and JaNa quickly hit it off. They recouped together on day, and the next day, they received enough public votes to remain in the villa. Their initial time together was cut short when the men chose to go to Casa Amor. After spending some days apart, JaNa chose to stay faithful and recouple with Kenny. But Kenny had hit things off with Casa girl Catherine Marshall. JaNa remained in the villa as a single islander, but she and Kenny were able to work things out, and they recouped up on day. They also soon became the second couple of the season to spend a night in the hideaway, where they made their relationship exclusive. The now fan favorite couple sailed through the final several days into the finale, where they joined Nicole Jackie and Kendall Washington, Leah Kateb and Miguel Harichi and Serena Page and Cordell Beckham as the final couples. Though they did not become season SIXS winners, as the prize went to Page and Beckham, JaNa and Kenny showed their strong bond during the finale, including a sweet moment where JaNa gave a speech in Spanish for Kenny. The duo ended the season as Love Island third-place couple. Unfortunately, JaNa and Kenny's relationship seems to have come to an end. After first reported their split on July, source confirmed the net day that JaNa broke up with Kenny the morning of the. According to the source, they will not be getting back together. Contact me with news and offers from other future brands. Receive email from us on behalf of our trusted partners or sponsors by submitting your information. You agree to the terms, conditions, and privacy policy and are aged or over. Both JaNa and Kenny released statements via their Instagram stories on July 29th. JaNa spoke out first, addressing the online rumors by saying that none have matched up to how terrible, disgusting, and disappointing it truly is. She continued, discovering that someone you loved isn't who you thought they were and that the relationship you thought you were building hasn't been genuine since day one has been truly devastating. Thank you for respecting my privacy, and please, no child of God will always be okay. Though neither JaNa or Kenny have revealed what caused the split, it's clear that the breakup has been contentious. Less than an hour after Kenny posted his statement, JaNa followed up with a second story calling him a manipulative liar. You're not taking accountability and telling people the type of person you are is insane. To Mesh wrote, my first statement was me being nice. Do not piss me off. Prior to the statements, fans noticed that before the reports, they had removed each other from their Instagram bios and unfollowed each other. Several season Islanders have also unfollowed Kenny. According to Leah Kateb and Serena Page have also publicly condemned Kenny and supported JaNa. After Love Island season 6 went off the air in July 2024, the then happy couple had posted many heartwarming pics together, most of which have now been removed from JaNa's Instagram feed. Before the couple relocatito filmed Beyond the Villa earlier this summer, they had been in a long-distance relationship with. One early question: do you think this year's Love Island is representation of the current dating scene? The cast responds no, don't think so. They laugh, deflect, and note that dating dynamics outside the show are more complicated, less extreme, and often more mundane. The villa environment creates pressure, emotional fast forwards, and intense dynamics that aren't representative of how people meet or date in everyday life. The cast acknowledges that being in the villa compresses emotional progression relationships. Heartbreak drama within days, or weeks rather than months or years. Taylor notes that in the villa you have no time to process emotions. So moments look more dramatic than they might in real life. This theme is crucial. Reality dating shows are curated, edited, and staged in many ways, and the cast pushing back on this as real life claims is a way to remind audiences to read them through a lens of media. Example: why does Amaya have metaphor for everything? The cast jokes and defends her as poetic, with Amaya saying she's just expressive. My intrusive thoughts always win, and I just be saying my mind. This illustrates how cast members deal with sometimes superficial commentary about style, personality, or quirks. One comment asked, Ace said H's kills me. How tall is he? The cast pokes fun, with Taylor noting's really 6 feet 6 inches on a good deer. Responding to teasing remarks shows how they aim to humanize, not being above criticism, but engaging with. The cast often references how intense the appearance emotionally, mentally, and socially. Sun is shining on the villa, and the cast of Love Island are finally ready to face their fans online. The air is full of excitement as they gather around the big white couch waiting for the questions to appear on the screen. Each of them knows that the fans have been watching every moment, and today is their chance to answer everything with honesty and laughter. The first question pops up, and everyone laughs. Someone asks who had the messiest room in the villa. The girls point at each other while the boys burst into loud cheers. Finally, one of them admits they were the messiest, but also the most fun. The fans watching at home are already loving the energy. Another question appears, asking who fell in love the fastest. The couple sitting in the corner blush as the others tease them. They talk about how they connected from the very first day and how the villa made their bond even stronger. The crowd goes wild online, with thousands of hearts flooding the chat. The next fan asks what was the most shocking moment inside the villa. Everyone pauses, remembering the big twist that changed the game. That night was filled with surprises, tears, and laughter. The cast explain how real everything felt and how emotions ran high. As the questions continue, the atmosphere softens as they talk about how much it means to make people smile. They remind the viewers that behind all the drama, there were real friendships being buoyed. A fan dares them to reveal their biggest secret moment that was never shown on camera. One contestant shares a sweet late-night kitchen dance that no one saw. Another talks about crying under the stars when they miss home. It becomes one of the most emotional parts of the show. The any question is about who cooked the best meals in the villa. Everyone laughs again, remembering burnt toast and midnight snacks. But one person proudly claims their cooking skills, and the others agree. The fans go crazy in the comments, asking for a cooking show next. Someone asks which couple argued the most, and the cast tease the couple sitting on the left. They joke about how every small thing turned into a funny fight. But at the end of the day, they always made up with hugs and kisses. The fans can feel how real it was. A fan asked what was their first thought when they entered the villa. Each contestant remembers their butterflies, their nervous smiles, and the way the warm air made everything feel like a dream. They share how their journey began and how it changed them forever. The cast are asked who was the most dramatic. One of the girls throws her hands up as everyone points at her. She laughs because she knows it is true and tells the fans that every tear, every scream, and every laugh was real. The next question makes everyone scream with excitement. Fan asks who is still together. After the show, the couples hold hands and share how their love has grown even outside the villa. The fans send endless hearts and love emojis. A question appears, asking who was the funniest islander. They all shout one name, and the fans instantly agree. In the live chat, that person shares how they always tried to make everyone laugh, even on the toughest days. A fan wants to know about the first kiss moment. They all remember those unforgettable nights when the stars were bright and the hearts were racing. They describe how magical and real those moments felt. The next fan asks what they miss most about the villa. Everyone falls silent for a second, and then they talk about the laughter, the late night talks, and the bond they created. It was more than just a show, it was a family. Someone asks if they would return to the villa. If given a chance, the answer is loud yes, followed by cheers. They all agree that Love Island was a journey they will never forge. The cast start answering fun rapid-fire questions like favorite memory, favorite outfit, favorite date, and favorite prank. The vibe is electric as they relive every little moment of their unforgettable summer. A touching message from a young fan appears on screen, thanking them for inspiring her to believe and love the cast, are moved, and one of them says that moments like these remind them why the show met. As the questions near the end, they all look at each other with warm smiles. The fans have made them feel special once again. They talk about how their lives have changed and how they are grateful for every fan who supported them. The last question is simple. What would you say to your fans? They all shout thank you with their hands up, high, promising to keep sharing their journey with love and home style. The fans cheer online as the screen fades to the Love Island logo and the music plays. Kenny based in Doll, Texas, and JaNa in Las Vegas, Nevada. On the premiere episode of Beyond the Villa, the two revealed that they were staying in separate apartments since Kenny preferred having his own space. Kenny Rodriguez and JaNa Craig share snack while watching the drama The Love Island season reunion. Also pictured in back row, Connor Newsom and Dea McGee. In the months after season 6, the then couple did several interviews to discuss their plans for the future. In an October 2024 interview, JaNa said that the couple saw each other often, but also just amount of time, so we can miss each other. That distance also helps the heart grow fonder. But it also doesn't put a lot of pressure on us to need to be with each other all the time. Kind of like it that we don't live in the same city right now. She said at the time now that we're outside, we can take our time. It's not as fast. Quincy Lagarde is culture writer at Marie Claire. She currently lives in her hometown of Los Angeles after periods living in NYC and Albuquerque, where she earned a bachelor's degree in English and psychology from the University of New Mexico. She joined Marie Claire as contributor, becoming a full-time writer for the brand in 2024. She contributes day-to-day content covering television, movies, books, and pop culture in general. She has also written features, profiles, recaps, personal essays, and cultural criticism for outlets including Harper's Bazaar, Elle, HuffPost, Teen Vogue, Vulture, The Club, Catapult, and others. When she isn't writing or checking Twitter way too often, you can find her watching the 80s K-drama or giving concert performance in her car. During Wednesday's episode of the Call Her Daddy podcast, the reality television star condemned Ortega's prior use racial slur. Ortega was ousted from the villa over resurfaced social media post in which she used a racial slur toward the Asian community. In a video posted to her Instagram on July, Ortega, who had been dating Nicholas Van Steenbergen before leaving the show, issued an apology. While I was in the villa, there were some posts that resurfaced from my past where I was very naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory term, she said. I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that have hurt or deeply offended, but most importantly, the entire Asian community. Am deeply, truly, honestly so sorry, had no idea that the word held as much pain as much harm and came with the history that it did or never would have used it, had no ill intention was using it. But that's absolutely no excuse because intent doesn't excuse ignorance. Call Her Addy host Alex Cooper brought up the topic during her conversation with Espinal, who won the hit reality series alongside Brian Arenales on Sunday. A huge moment this season was when Sierra abruptly left the villa. Can you talk to me just from your perspective as an islander what went down? Cooper asked. Dude, literally we all started the morning together and then out of nowhere she did disappear and we all were just asking where was Sierra. Espinal said, remember asking, was like, do you guys know where Sierra went? And then same thing with Nick Van Steenbergen, was like, Nick, where's Sierra? We all genuinely did not know. So we did not get the chance to say goodbye. We weren't able to see her pack her bags. Idly just happened in the flash of an eye. Felt very unreal in a while, like, what is going on? The fan favorite added. Where were you guys when she clearly went and packed her bags? Cooper asked, to which Espina replied, we were all in the villa. We literally were all just hanging out. Everyone should be respected. Just hope that she earns from her consequences. You know, she is a grown woman. So hopefully moving on forward, it's just like, this should not be repeated, she said. Bachelorette star Jen Tran on July 4th. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff circulating online about Sierra and her racist C slur that she said on her Instagram. First of all, know that girl is not living under a rock, so she knows she shouldn't be using that word. There's no excuse for it that, first and foremost. Know there are certain words that can't use because of the negative connotation that goes behind it, and choose to be a good person and not offend other people. Simple. Econly, the way in which she even used the post that she made was of her referring to her eyes and how she had to get Botox because she didn't like the way she looked because it was too C-wordy. And hope to God this woman does not have a platform because the fact she felt that was okay to say just makes me so upset. Ortega's Love Island co-star Bella Walker on Instagram on Jules A. Proud Asian American woman. Deeply appreciative of the Love Island producers for taking a stand and making it clear that racism of any kind is not tolerated. When first saw what my fellow Islanders said on their social media pages, was incredibly heartbroken, but wanted to wait until they left the villa and were able to address the situation, genuinely apologize, and commit to learning from the experience before deciding how our relationship would look moving forward. Since the dawn of time, fairy tales have perpetuated the uplifting notion that love conquers all. But what if Prince Charming had found himself in a tropical paradise full of attractive and eligible singles, all vying for his affection? Would happily ever after hold up then? Netflix Netfly new reality dating series Temptation Island. That very notion is put to the test. But instead fairy tale characters, it's 4 real-life couples who all want to see if their relationships can hold up in the face of temptation on a remote tropical island. What could possibly go wrong? The answer is everything. Everything could and probably will go very, very wrong, but in the most entertaining way for us viewers. Along with the 4 upples, there are also sexy singles thrown into the mix who will try their best to get the coupled up folks to give in to their desires and stray from their partnero will have the self-control to resist and who will succumb to their lustful urges. Odds are that the couples who entered this competition together won't be the same ones fans will see leaving paradise together when all is said and done. You'll have to watch the first season to find out for yourselves which duos survived the romance chopping block. But in the meantime, here's a look at all of Netflix Temptation Island season contestants you'll meet along the way. What we know about them. Shantae is years old and a clinical healthcare worker. She also serves as a Pilates instructor in her spare time. Brian is years old and works as a medical device and pharmaceutical sales rep. The 2 of them have been dating for a year and are hoping to take their relationship to the next level, which includes even starting a family. However, Brian's wandering eye has left Shantae unsure if he's able to make that type of commitment. Being on this show should certainly provide the clarity she's looking for. What we know about them. Taylor is a year-old health education specialist and personal trainer. And Tyler is years old, has background in sales, and has dabbled in modeling. Tyler also used to be married to someone else for 6 years and began dating Taylor shortly after his divorce. Jumping from one serious relationship to another has left Tyler curious about the single life and discovering who he is without being tied to someone else. And since Taylor hopes Tyler is in it for the long run, she's ready to put their love to the test and throw temptation right into his path. But perhaps she'll come to discover that he isn't the only one who could be enticed by another. We know about them. Alexa, Aber and delivery nurse, while Lino, health coach and personal trainer. The 2 of them have been together for 3 years and are very much in love. In fact, it's the only serious relationship Lino has ever been in, which is sweet but also makes him unsure if he's qualified to know if Alexa is the one for him. Could he be tempted if another opportunity came his way? That's what he's looking to find out. Meanwhile, Alexa hopes to gain a little independence from the experience and rely a little less on Lino for her wants and needs and maybe giving in to some other wants and needs in the process. What we know about him. Case I's Eurolicinus owner and professional basketball player. He also has an adorably close relationship with his mother, whom he posts pictures of regularly on social media. That alone right there makes him a pretty great catch. The ladies may have a difficult time resisting his charm. What we know about him. Chris is years old and works in sales and as a fitness model. And if there's one thing you should know about this dude, it's that he loves taking muscle selfies. Don't think that's actually a term anyone is using, but it's exactly what he does. His social media is full of selfies of himself that showcase one thing, his muscles. And to his credit, he does have a OT of them, which I'm sure many of his fellow contestants will appreciate. Resent. Chris's Instagram could sell this. We know about him. Dan is 36 years old and serves as a director of tech sales. Fun fact, this isn't Dan's first stint on a reality dating show. In 2022, he was one of the gentleman suitors in the first and only season of the NBC dating show The Courtship, which involved them all wearing Regency-era attire while going on dates. Basically, it's like if Bridgerton and The Bachelorette had a love child, but given that he's now bound for Temptation Island, it seems love wasn't in the cards for him back, then maybe this time it'll be different. What we know about him, Danny is years old and currently has a job in solar sales. His social media also seems to indicate that he loves to travel pretty much everywhere. Perhaps his next destination will be into woman's heart. What we know about him, Giovanni years old and works in the digital marketing sector. Based on his social media, he enjoys traveling, soccer, and purposefully looking away from the camera in his pictures. Perhaps he's feeling pensive or dreaming about who he'll connect with on the show. What we know about him, Hashim is years old and works as a director. O's Instagram indicates that he's Issa modeling and graduated from Princeto. Smar, successful, and attractive. Something tells me this guy won't remain single on this island for very long. What we know about Yul, project manager, who loves being shirtless and hanging out in tropical places. Looks like Max, and this series will prove to be a match made in heaven. But will the love connection stop TH? We know about him. Quentin is 36 years old and fitness trainer. And since he seems to have no social media to speak of, is officially the most mysterious contestant of them all. So much like the island inhabitant, viewers will just have to wait to get to know him. As the season progresses, we know about her as a year-old model and influencer. Posted a ton about herself on Instagram outside her various modeling shoots. But in the caption of her Temptation Island photo, she wrote, "It comes to temptation, could say pass." So she definitely not afraid to put herself out there and test everyone's fidlet. What we know about her, Amaya is old and works as jeweler and content creator. Part of her brand involves posting various editing tutorials on social media, which are kinda cool. Her